The rainbow after the storm. Have you ever felt like you're caught in a storm that just won't end? Like the clouds are so dark, you've forgotten what the sun even feels like. Today, I want to share a story with you. A story about a young artist named Maya and how she found her rainbow after the fiercest storm of her life. Maya lived and breathed art. Her tiny apartment was a beautiful chaos of canvases, paint tubes, and half-finished sculpture. For her, creating wasn't just a hobby, it was how she made sense of the world. Her dream was to open her own gallery, a vibrant space where she could share her vision and support other emerging artists. She poured every ounce of her savings, every late night, and every spark of inspiration into this dream. She found the perfect little spot downtown, a forgotten storefront with big, dusty windows just begging to be filled with color and light. She spent months renovating it. Her friends and family would drop by with sandwiches and coffee, cheering her on as she painted walls, laid down new floors, and built display stands with her own two hands. The day she hung the sign, the canvas, over the door, her heart felt like it would burst with pride. The grand opening was set for the following month. Everything was falling into place. It was perfect. And then the storm came. Not just a sprinkle, but a torrential, record-breaking downpour that lasted for days. The old city drains couldn't handle it. One morning, Maya got a frantic call. Her heart sank. When she arrived at her nearly finished gallery, she was met with a devastating sight. The entire street was flooded. Murky water lapped at the windows of the canvas. Inside, it was a scene of utter destruction. Her canvases, once vibrant with life, were now warped and waterlogged, the colors bleeding into each other like tears. Her handcrafted wooden displays were ruined. The new floorboards she'd so carefully laid were buckling. The dream she had built with her bare hands was submerged in a muddy, heartbreaking reality. The air was thick with the smell of damp and despair. In that moment, standing ankle-deep in the wreckage of her dream, Maya felt a profound emptiness. It was more than just a financial loss. It felt like a part of her soul had been washed away. All the joy, the hope, the tireless effort. Gone. Sa went home, closed her studio door, and for the first time in years, she didn't touch a single paintbrush. The colors that usually danced in her mind were replaced by a dull, relentless gray. The silence in her studio was deafening. Days turned into a week. Friends called, but she let the calls go to voicemail. Her family sent messages of support, but the words felt distant, unable to penetrate the thick fog of her grief. She felt lost adrift in a sea of what-ifs and could have been. The storm outside had passed, but an even bigger one was raging inside her. The motivation that had once burned so brightly was now just a flicker, threatening to go out completely. One afternoon, as she was scrolling aimlessly through photos on her phone, she stumbled upon a picture from the day she hung the sign for the canvas. In the photo, she was beaming, covered in sawdust and paint, but her eyes were sparkling with pure, undiluted joy. Seeing that version of herself, so full of hope and determination, stirred something within her. It was a faint whisper, but it was there. That evening, her younger brother, Leo, came over. He didn't say much. He just handed her a small, plain wooden box. "I was cleaning out the garage," he said quietly, "and I found this. I thought you might be able to do something with it." It was an old forgotten box of watercolors he'd gotten for a birthday years ago. Maya took the box. She ran her fingers over the dry cakes of color. For the first time in weeks, she felt a tiny spark. She opened the box, dipped a brush in a glass of water, and touched it to the block of blue. As the color bloomed onto the paper, something inside her started to shift. She wasn't trying to create a masterpiece. She just painted. She painted the gray of the floodwaters, the dark, angry clouds, the tears on her own face. But then, she started to paint other things. She painted the memory of her friend bringing her coffee, the warmth of the sun on her back as she'd built the shelves, the proud smile on her father's face. Slowly, unexpectedly, other colors started to creep onto the page. A splash of yellow, a streak of pink, a vibrant green. She was painting her way through the storm. She was painting her grief, but she was also painting her gratitude. This new art was different from her old work. It was raw, more emotional, and incredibly honest. It told a story not just of beauty, but of resilience. One of her friends saw the new watercolor series and was blown away. "Maya," she said, "this is your most powerful work yet. People need to see this." With her friend's encouragement, Maya started a small online campaign. She shared her story, the dream, the flood, the heartbreak, and the slow, painful process of healing through art. She called the project The Rainbow After the Storm. She didn't ask for donations to rebuild the gallery. Instead, she sold prints of her new watercolor series to fund a community art workshop for others who had been affected by the flood. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Her story resonated with so many people who had faced their own storms. Orders for the prints poured in from all over the country. People shared her posts, adding their own stories of loss and recovery. A local news station picked up the story, and soon, Maya's small campaign became a local phenomenon. The community rallied around her. Volunteers helped her clean out the damaged gallery space. A local hardware store donated supplies. Other artists offered to contribute their work for the workshop. The space was no longer just Maya's dream. It became a shared project, a testament to the community's collective strength. A few months later, the doors of the canvas finally opened. But it wasn't the gallery she had originally planned. It was something more. The walls were adorned with her Rainbow After the Storm series, alongside artwork from the community workshops. It was a space not just for viewing art, but for creating it, for healing, and for connecting. On opening night, the gallery was packed. Laughter and conversation filled the air. Maya stood in the middle of the room, looking at the vibrant art and the smiling faces. The flood had taken almost everything, but in its wake, it had left something unexpected and beautiful. It had washed away her old plans, forcing her to build something stronger, more meaningful, and more connected to the world around her. Maya realized the storm hadn't destroyed her dream. It had simply redirected it. She found that the brightest rainbows don't just appear after the rain. They are often made from the water and light that come from the storm itself. She had found her purpose not in avoiding the storms of life, but in learning how to paint with the colors they leave behind. So, if you're in a storm right now, remember, Maya. Remember that even when it feels like everything is lost, there is still color to be found. There is still art to be made. Your story of resilience might just be the rainbow someone else needs to see. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me share the story with you. If it resonated, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more stories of hope and inspiration. Until next time, take care and keep looking for your rainbow.